morning fish people, I'm NOSH from FishOn TV. It is Tuesday the 20th of April and as you've seen we are at the fantastic Lindholme Lakes, and today we're with the Old Boys Fishing Club and we are fishing the BONZAI lake. We've just done the draw, had them queuing up and dishing their peg numbers out. I've drawn peg 46, I forgot what I was on, 46. Never fished that side before. I've usually drawn down the spit, so BONZAI, I've only ever really fished it when it's been cold, so I've not had any great days on BONZAI, but I'm hoping to change that today. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I think it's going to be a pellet and maggot approach in margins a little bit later on, hopefully. So they're all at the pegs. I've got to unload my van, get ready, let's shoot to the peg, and hopefully if I've got time we'll have a little quick look. I've only got an hour to get ready. I know it doesn't sound like a long time, but it'll take me 10 to 15 minutes to get all my gear off and gear on and then get set up and then get my camera set up. So, and plus I'm talking to you now, so I've got just short of an hour to get ready. Let's see how we get on. Not sure of the approach. I'm probably thinking, I had a word with Alex and he sort of thinks maggot and pellet. I've told everybody else that's where I think it'll be here today. Start off cautiously. I'm going to have a shallow rig, a long pole rig, margin rig, and a method feeder rig to the island. I think that's pretty much it. Not sure whether I'll need to set a waggler up or anything, but I think that's all I'm going to be doing today. I might even have a mugging rig as well. We'll just see. Don't know how it's going to fish today. We're hoping for a few fish. Everybody's excited. So let's get to the bank now and get ready and get fishing. Right then, I am ready. I've got all my stuff ready. Just having a quick chat with you. I've literally just shouted time. I'm here on BONZAI peg 46, which is just to the, as you walk out of the shop, just to the left of the shop there. Right, BONZAI, I've not fished it a great deal. I've certainly not fished it at this time of year. It's fairly shallow. It's very similar to like woodland sort of depth. So I'll just show you what I'm thinking. I mean, I have seen something in the margin here, but we'll just start from where I'm going to start my match and what I think, how things might develop. There are one or two fish topping. Sos says there's loads in front of me, but I've just been too busy getting ready. Right, here we go. So pretty much from about here up to 13 meters, it's pretty much the same depth, left and right. There's an inch or two in it if there's a hole where carp have been, things like that. So I'm going to start at about 11 meters here. Just probably tapping a few pellets in just to start with, just to get a feel for what's happening. Don't want to overload it with bait. And as you can see, I've got an island. I mean, there's an island there, but it's sort of in between me and Ian. It's like, shall I go there, shan't I? I think it's sort of a mutual agreement if I want to go there. But I've actually clipped up to this island here. It's hard to see with the sun. This island here. It seems fairly clear. There are roots coming out, but it does seem clear where I've clipped up to. There are some reeds, if I've got it right, just in there. So that'll be the method feeder line. And here, I've got a nice margin here, and there has been a fish top here, but as soon as you put nets in and things like that, in fact I have to do that, they'll soon disappear. But what I have done, I've got a spare free peg here, and I'm going to go into the margin down here later on, so I'll be feeding that with ground bait, maggots and probably corn, something like that. Also got a mugging rig up which I can turn into a shallow rig. If there's anything knocking about around here, we can try a little bit of shallow fishing. So that's pretty much it. It's a dead simple plan. Baits, there we go. I've got 4s, 6s, there's oil on them because I don't want them floating. There are plenty of ducks and stuff here and seagulls knocking about. Micros, some maggots, ground bait, bit of corn. This is a working tray, so I'll probably start with just ground bait, and then I can put ground bait, add a small amount of micros, or go 50-50. That's just to and I'm gonna, you know, I can alternate that as like a working tub. Because some days they'll want ground bait, other days they don't want ground bait, other days I want just pellets, and some days a mixture of both seems to work. I can't explain why, but that's just how it is sometimes. I've got wafters put on there. I am going to probably start with maggot and 4mm pellet on the method feeder and keep it as simple as that. Don't think we really need to do anything more drastic than that. Just be patient. Let's see how we get on, and let's hope we hook into a few fish. Right then folks, we are about an hour and 25 minutes in, an hour and a half, something like that. It was a slow start to start with. Frank was straight into them. I was at 11 metres and I just kept picking skimmers up. I had quite a few skimmers, about 5 or 6 skimmers in first sort of half an hour. And then I had a little tench, then I had a little crucian. And then I went out to 13 metres. It's the same depth, if you remember, it's pretty much the same depth all the way out. Started dropping a few pellets from about a foot just to make a bit of noise. And I had 1 or 2 F1s and a carp. I'm up to 25 pounds at the minute. Just went a little bit funny out there, so I'm just resting that. I've just cast to the island, and while I've been setting my camera up, I've had two F1s, and they've been coming within sort of 3 minutes, 4 minutes. This is the longest that this has been in, so going off from what I've seen so far, I'll be in and out every sort of 5 minutes at the most. The maggot man to my right, the maggot man's back. He's had skimmers and a few F1s. Frank's had some, he says he's had a 6 pound carp, a few around about 2 or 3. I'm not sure what he's had. I'm not sure if I've overtaken him or not, but I think I might have just overtaken him. Simon's getting 1 or 2. Simon Hudson, he's trying to win 3 on trot. Soz, I think, is behind the island, this island here, I think, yeah. He's been over giving me some abuse. He's been giving Aaron some abuse in there, wanting discount off everything, as he does. It was funny though. Aaron asked me, he says, can you get rid of him? So we steady away at the minute. Can't complain, 25 pounds. It would have been nice to get off to a bit quicker start, but I just never had a... To be fair, I started on a 6mm pellet and I went to a 4mm. So I'm not familiar with this pond too much. I know it's not just F1 dominated. I know there's plenty of decent carp in here, so I thought 6mm, slightly heavier hook length, but it seemed like I was probably not quite in the right area. I've just gone that bit further out and I've had a decent little run of fish, so the hook length doesn't... I've got 0.17 to an 18 kkmb. I was thinking, shall I scale down to a 0.13, but there's a few snags around here. It's not affected the bites once I've gone that little bit further out. I was getting bites pretty much instantly, and then it's just gone a bit queer. So I thought, right, I'll get my camera set up, give that a little rest, go out to the island with a method feeder. That's been in 5 minutes now. I'm just getting 1 or 2 liners, so I'll give it another cast. Whilst I was dropping pellets and then lowering my float at the side of it, I had 2 where it took it almost instantly, so they might be shallow. I've got a good feeling they are going to be shallow. So I think I might have to have a little go at that as well. We'll just get this back in. Now he's had 2 tench as the maggot man, and a load of skimmers I've just heard him say. So I'll get this back out there. probably about a foot off the island, and it does seem fairly clear where that's just plopped. You watch, it'll get snagged up this one now I've just said that. And there's definitely fish mulling about, because while that was settling, the line was settling, I just saw a bit of movement on the tip which suggests there are fish swimming about. Again, very slight liner there. But I'll not be, there's one thing I won't be doing today. I won't be leaving it 10 and 15 minutes. I'll be in and out today quite a bit, because these fish do seem to be on the move a little bit more. It has. We have had this sun now for about 8 days, I think. Again, it was 3 degrees when I got up this morning. 3 degrees, it's in group. So it's been cold during the night again, but not as cold. It's not been the minuses, so we are expecting a few fish. There's 1 or 2 of ours walking about as if they've not had too much at all. Again, another liner there. I'm hoping it'll go around well, you know. But that's going to be me today, I think. Method out there, I'll be alternating between, I've got a little 4mm pellet on at the minute. I do know that maggot works here. And the ground bait that I'm using is the green swim stim and the marine halibut pellet. Ground bait, marine halibut should I say. I know Nick Speed loves it down here, and I've got to say I like that combination anyway. I think I've mentioned it before. It wraps around the method feeder spot on. You have every confidence that once it hits the water and goes to the bottom, it's still on. So that's one of the reasons I like it. Margins later on. Got to try shell a little bit. I'm going to give it another hour or so before I go shell. It depends. Depends what I see. I've not seen anybody trying sheller or catching sheller just yet. So persevere with this. See if we get a few more fish, and we'll give you updates as we go along. That didn't take long, pretty much a minute after I'll talk to you, it dropped back. Feels like an F1. Yeah, small F1. That's the smallest F1 I've had today, so tiny little F1. And I've got the wrong net as well if I'm catching F1s. Actually, I never took no notice this morning. I want a different net to that. We'll get back out there. We'll see if we can get another one, eh? Nice one. Well, 54 seconds in, I suppose I should have just left it. Again, little tap on the back bite. Again, it's a small F1. I also noticed when I was reeling in, I disturbed the fish that were on top. So I've just started finding one or two 4mm, not a lot. I'm not sure how they're going to respond to quite a lot of bait. I think they're wanting a bit more than they have done over the last week. Just gradually start putting a bit more in at a time. So I'm going to have to get me different landing net, I think. Another F1. And I think I'm definitely going to get 1 or 2 shallow. And if you can catch shallow, you can catch a hell of a lot quicker. Simon's doing alright as well. He's catching 1 or 2. Looks like he's catching quite a few skimmers and F1s. Yeah. Another F1 or skimmer, can't quite tell from here. So let's get back in. Let's see if we can get an instant reaction like we did just then. Yeah, the line's tightening up itself. Just see it sinking. Looks like there were a liner there because that just come towards me a little bit quicker. Certainly no more than 5 minutes out there at a time. Liner. Don't know whether you could see it or not, but just a nice steady little pull. And for you people that don't know, don't be striking at those. You'll know if you're fishing this method on the method feeder. It just goes round or it just bangs straight back. With it being close to an island, you do get quite a lot of back bites. Because obviously they can't go that way, they've got to come this way, so you do get quite a lot of back bites. So look out for that when you're fishing tight to an island. Ooh, that just dropped back a bit there, I'm not sure that. Was that the bite? I think that could be on. No. Must have been a liner that knocked it back. And that can happen as well. Right, get back in. Right, the first put in with the mugging rig, I had a few, 2 or 3 4mm pellets out, and it went straight under. I'm about 14 inch deep, 15 inch deep, something like that. The bite's just dried up on the feed. I'm just getting liners. They know where to go, don't they? Feels like they're always trying to get under the platform. Get away. It's a small carp, probably about 3 poundish. Oh, nice one. So there we go. Nice little 3 pound common. I'll just find a couple of pellets out there. I'm not overkilling it because I'm not sure how this feed's going to affect them. I'm just doing 3 or 4 a couple of times, and that's pretty much it. Right, wet hands again. So we'll give that another go. Go. I'll just show you what I do with the mugging rig. It's quite new to me, is mugging. I think I mentioned it last year. I started it last year. I had a great day at Woodhouse Grange. So the float's now behind the pole tip. And what we do, I lift it up and you swing it in front. So now I've got a tight line from the pole to the float, and they're pretty solid bites, like you would on the pellet waggler. There's none of that F1 little tapping, it just goes. So I'll just bring it back towards me and I'll swing it again. And again, if you're wanting to practice this, pick the pellets up while you've got your catty in your hand. Oh, that was shocking, that was a shocker. Miles to the right, to the left. There we go. I'll come back. And then I'll just flick it towards where all those pellets were. And hope it goes under. And I only did that twice on the last put in. It went straight under. There we go. Nice solid bite. Watched David Wood and all last night doing his 11-minute challenge. He's given me a shout out, the mightiest. Come on, the mightiest. So I might, we'll see how things go. I might do it during this match just for a laugh. But he blanked, bless him. It was funny though. He does make me laugh. Don't think you were happy, were you? Good old Dave. Oh dear. We did talk about doing 11-minute challenge and blanking. I think his first one. He is the mightiest blanker. Blanker, I said. He'll kill me. It's another carp, not an F1. If it is an F1, it's a decent size one. And they're definitely getting fitter, they're not coming in as easy now. And Frank's catching. Being a mighty fisherman, I've heard. They've not told me, but I've just heard them talking that Graham Scott's catching quite well. The mighty fisherman himself. Well, he's putting a mighty battle up. Well done. Great account of itself, this. It is a bigger fish. Get out. Oh, they always want to go in there. There must be a snag down there. This is the first place they aim for. Again, just keep down there. So yeah, this mugging lark, give it a go. Come on, hands dropping off. I can't even surprise him to come into the top. Come on. The harder you pull, the harder they seem to pull. You just trick him. Come on. Come to the top, Mr. Fish. Come on, I won't get his head up at all. At all, at all. My maggot man's just had a phone call. I've just heard his mate on the phone say, "Are you bagging?" He's gone, "No," and he goes, "What is that, peg?" There we go. Bigger fish. Oh dear, they're giving him some right stick. Poor old maggot man. Oh, I had that then. It's taking it down right. Really well. There we go. We'll have a look at this one. It's got to be tight. Stay still, so about £4, 3.5, £4. We can't complain at those, can we? Beautiful. So that puts me on to about £31. 2 and a bit hours in, so we're just steady away. Right. Let's get all this crap off my line. And I'll just show you this mugging rig, how I do it. So it's a 4x14 sheller, Preston sheller. A lot of weed. That's we're going down here. There must be a snag down there. I'll get the rest of the weed off in a minute, but basically it's a 4x14 sheller. I've got a bulk shot there, and then a 12-inch hook length. And then I've got an 18 KK&B 017 bottom it is, and a 4mm pellet. And quite a long lash, I would say. That's about, what, about 3.5, about a 4 foot lash. So you just flick it in front of your pole. Right, I'll catch a few more and we'll give you updates in an hour or so. 3 hours in. Microphone, just 2 secs. Microphone caught it with my rod. We're 3 hours in. I've got 41 on my clicker, plus this. I had another 2, I think, on mugging rig, and then I just couldn't get a bite anywhere. But that seems to be the pattern. People are catching 1 or 2, and then they don't get a bite. And I've just gone back up method to the corner of the island, and that's my second fish. So why that pattern's happening, I don't know. I don't know whether it's they're not wanting bait, or I don't know. It's a strange one to work out. Just keep having to keep moving to keep bites coming. But a little carp, back bite again. So that one I reckon is about 2.5 poundish. So I'll go over, we'll say 3. It says 44, could be less, could be just right, don't know. You know what I'm like, folks, we're getting the weights pretty semi-skimmed at that. So I've just moved to the corner of the island and I'm a little bit short than I was tight up earlier. And so far, so good, a couple of fish. I'm not putting any more pellets. I've been casting sort of about 3 or 4 pellets round the mugging rig, and then it's gone funny, so not putting any more bait down there, and we'll have another look a bit later on. So that's the update for you. Frank reckons he's got, I thought he'd more, he says about 20 odd pound. Maggot man's about the same. So I think Mick Smith and Simon, they're about the same as well, about 20 odd pound. Graham Scott I've heard is catching, but I don't know how much. Don't know what Sozer's getting behind there. And Richard's had 1 or 2. And I don't know how John's doing on the end there. So that's your update. Let's keep going. See if we get a few more pound in net. Right, folks, just an update for you. There's 2 hours to go. I've got about 46 pounds. It's been dire for the last hour. So Richard over there, he's got all. Oh, I missed that. He's got all that space to himself, and he's been catching it barging for the last hour and a half. I've just had a look, nothing. But we are all pegged out, every other peg down here. He's got nobody to his right, and he's got 2 or 3 pegs spare to his left, so he's got loads of room there. And he's been catching in both margins. He's not going anywhere else, and he's literally going in and catching one. So he's really going to take some baiting today. I fed my margin once, I've fed it again, I've had a quick look seeing as he were catching, but nothing. I've had, looked like a roach or something had been nibbling at it. I've had a couple of skimmers, and they're skimmer bites. I had a couple of skimmers. The carp seem to have dried up. Both me, Frank, and the maggot man, we're struggling here. It seems to have died a death, but Mick Smith's walked up and he said that people are struggling for bites down to my left as well. Obviously I can't see everybody, I can only see maybe 3. But he's definitely winning, so he's got more than me. They're tiny little bites, and I think they're little skimmers or roach or something. Just hope I get a visit in the left-hand margin there. But it's definitely dried up, so that's your update. Not a lot of action. I'm back out at 13 metres. It is the same depth. I might actually go out to 14 metres and have a look there and see if there's any fish a bit further out. But I've not put any pellets out there apart from feeding over where I've shipped out to. And he's in again, look, he's Richard. Again, another. He's just spooning them out over there. He's catching them for fun. But that's the luck of the draw for you. And all I seem to be getting here at the minute is these tiny little taps. Look like it. Well, I don't think they'll be F1s because I beat them, because as soon as I see an indication I'm lifting. But that's your update. Let's see if we can hook a few in the next couple of hours. Well, nothing on the pole line. I've just gone back out to Ireland on the method. I just hooked into a little F1. But he's still catching in the margin. He's going to take some catching. Frank's getting 1 or 2 skimmers in his margin and a tiny carp. There you go, baby F1. Oh, that one. So I'm just hoping I get a visit in the margin. I'm going to need quite a few fish. I mean, I'm up to 46 or 7 pounds. He's got to have 70. He's got to have that at least, I would have thought. It's hard to gauge, isn't it, when you can't see how big the fish really are. If they're just small F1s, then they're not too bad, because I have got a few bigger fish than a few decent sized fish. So we'll just have to hope everything's okay. We'll just have to hope that his fish aren't that big, but I think 1 or 2 of them have been alright. Margin fish are usually okay. So fingers crossed we get a few more from this island, because that wasn't in long, it was in about 30 seconds. Right on the money. Lovely little plop. Let's let that line sink. And let's just hope it goes round again. Right. It's strange, you get 1 or 2 and then it just stops. It's very... You know, I've tried putting method feeder in the same spot like I normally would. As soon as like a bit of bait down there, or a little bit too much, I've been putting thinner layers on. It's strange. Just can't seem to keep them coming in one spot, apart from him, and he's into another one. That looked like a skimmer, but he's just swapping margin to margin. He's been catching there for ages. Takes some beating, does that, I'm afraid. But like now, I went out there, I'm in the exact same spot. As soon as it went in, there were liners, and then it went straight round, and there's just nothing now there. Oh, first liner. So let's hope it goes round. Right, updates shortly. Well, this is first fish I've had for absolutely ages. It's been dire. I just got one in the margin down here, and the way it's set up, I think it might be foul. it's just going absolutely crazy, so it could definitely be foul hooked, I'm sure it is. It just don't feel right. Yeah, definitely foul hooked. But it's a fish, and at least I know there's something down there now. That's first fish in ages. It's been really slow. Frank's been catching in his margin. The first margin I baited up down there, I've not had a touch. So I thought I'll just go in a bit deeper water. Yeah, I know it wants a proper bite, but at least there's some fish down there, so I hope. Let's see if we can get another one. About 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go. We started catching on maggot in the margin. This is the first, well, F1 I've had. I've been catching skimmers. There's no decent fish moved in. Frank's been getting quite a few. Again, he's been fishing out maggot as well. And I'm catching them in this margin down here, but the margin to my left, where I thought I'd get a few, I had a bite. I can't understand it still. Very strange. So, 20 minutes or so to go. I've got about 51 pound. Let's see where we end up, and we'll see you at the weigh-in. Weighed in, and boy has this been close. To be fair, I don't think it's fished that well. I know though, I think there were Lee Kerry and Joe Carrasta were telling me they've been doing a feature, and I don't think they've been bagging either. But our match, 20 of us, been a lot of weights around the same sort of weight. My match set off great. I thought with the way I was going, I thought I have a chance of £100 here, and then somebody switched everything off. I just couldn't buy a bite anywhere. Mugging, that stopped. The skimmer line at 13 metres, I had one or two, but nothing to shout about. I fed a margin. Well, two margins actually, one a little bit heavier than the other. The one that I fed heavy, 0, no bites. The one that I fed sparingly, I had skimmers, and I think I had one F1, something like that, right at the end. But I had about nearly 2 hours, about an hour and a half or so at least. When I can't say not without any fish, I got the odd small skimmer and the odd very small F1, but nothing to put weight in. With 3 hours to go, I think I've got 40 pounds. The method feeder to the island has not really produced today. We're getting 1 or 2 liners, but you'd catch 1 or 2, then it'd just stop. Try moving a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, you might pick up the odd fish up, but I know when they're having it here on the method feeder, it can be just going around almost instantly. It can be fantastic fishing, but it's just not worked out like that today. Quite a few liners. We seem to be getting liners everywhere at the minute. I think the fish are moving about. They're not really feeding, which is why I've not really put a great deal of bait in there again today. But I've done all right. I've done okay. I could have done with another decent fish, and that's all it would have taken. And I've ended up with £54.76. Don't forget, folks, it's digital scales measured in 100ths. I've lost 2 skimmers, maybe £1 a piece, but I don't think that would have made any difference. But it has been very, very close. So let's get on to the results. The guy opposite me, Richard, I thought I'd got £100. They weren't as big a fish as what I thought they were. He said there were a lot of skimmers and tench, and he's only weighed 40, and I find it unbelievable that, because he just seemed to be catching every putting, but they were obviously smaller fish than I thought. So that 54.76 for me. Now in 4th place, where are we? He's not circled them off for me. Where are we? Crikey, crikey, crikey. In 4th place we have got my old mate Jeff from Peg 15. He's coming with £57.78. So well done, Jeff. What a mighty fisherman you are. In the money again, just kicking me out. Typical. I'll have to get my pocket money off him next time I see him. In 3rd place we've got the lovely horrible bloke himself, Soz, weighed in with £58.04 on Peg 56. Quite a lot of room there. I think he's got a lot of his fish towards the end. So what a mighty fisherman you are, Soz. Well done, son. And in 2nd place we have got Ringer, Peg 31. He'd not got a lot of fish after 3 hours, and then he's caught quite a lot in the edge right at the end. He's coming with £60.76. So what a mighty fisherman you are, Ringer. Well done, son. And in 1st place, I told him that I thought he'd got £60. He wouldn't have it. Frank to my left, I think I mentioned it, he was catching bream after bream after bream right in his margin on double maggot, and he's ended up weighing what was it, £60.90. So he has just pipped it. Very, very close. There's like top 5, there's been £6 in it. So very, very close indeed. So well done, Frank. You are this week's Old Boys mightiest fisherman. Well done, Frank. Well fished, Frank. Jono. So really chuffed for him. Persevered. He went in the margins quite a bit early because it was tough. It went really quiet, and he's persevered in the margin, and he's just caught on maggot in the maggot and ground bait. And that's what I've caught on in the margin as well. But there were no significant sizing fish. The bream that he were catching were like, sort of, he said, oh, I'm sick of catching these skimmers. It was about £3 or £4, and he had a few of them as well, and it didn't half bump his weight up. So just shows you at the minute seems to be in the margins ground bait and maggot for you folks that are coming to Lindholme Lakes. I've caught on maggot and 4mm pellet. Ringer's caught on soft pellet, and I think everybody else has got on maggot and small pellets. So there you go. That's the insights to a day on the Bonsai Lake at Lindholme Lakes. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been absolutely gorgeous weather. Got a bit of a suntan again. My wife will be going mad because I do catch it quite easy. And she's as white as a ghost. So I don't know where we're going next week. I've not booked anything. Could be Syke House, it could be Lindholme Lakes. Not Lindholme Lakes, Farmer Lakes. piking. It could be something like that, I don't know. I've not made my mind up yet, but we shall see. We'll see you on the bank next Tuesday, wherever I book. Don't forget, folks, if you do like my videos, it's absolutely free to subscribe. Complete freebie. Click the subscribe button. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them. And a thumbs up would be very, very nice. So there we go. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.